Hello and welcome back to the third week of Reddit League Season 5. Before I get started now, there's a funny story actually. I don't know if you might have figured it out by now, but I'm not recording these three parts that a video usually has in order anymore this season. I didn't actually record them in order last season either, although it might have been a bit less noticeable then. Because even back then I've noticed that I do much better in terms of like not being too nervous and being more concentrated if I just record the game and then worry about everything else afterwards. So even back last season, I recorded the game, the first thing, and then I did the intro and talking about the other seeds, although I might have, done talking about the other seeds immediately afterwards last season. This season, I record the game first, then talking about the other seeds is a bit. I can do it whenever, essentially, if I don't forget. But I usually do it after the game straight away, or maybe like with a little bit of a break. And then I record the intro once, because the reason for this is that I have to play, or I play just to check the seeds that Toll generates. I play the Division 1 seed before the actual post goes out and before the table is updated, because obviously the deadline for last week isn't over at that point. So I can't update the table yet because, well, what's there to update? No, not everyone's played yet. And I try to be as non-spoilerish as possible in those intros, and that's also why sometimes I record them a bit later, a bit earlier, maybe. Not that I'd forget what happened, but maybe that, if I'm like, I don't know, mad about something and I don't want it to come through in the intro, I'd maybe leave it be for a bit. This week, though, I simply forgot about it entirely because I just recorded the game for week 4 and I was like, wait, I distinctively remember yesterday or the day before checking and seeing that I've not set a video for next week I've not set this video, and I was like, okay, well, I'm playing Australia tomorrow, the day after, and then I'll have the video, right? Obviously not. That comes out a week after. Where's the week 3 video, Calamity? Yeah, I realized that then after I just played Australia. I was like, this comes out next week. What's this week? And then I remembered, well, I couldn't record the intro straight away because, table, I told you. And then I just forgot about it. And here we are. About 6 hours before the deadline for week 3, I'm recording the intro. Yeah, all Volvo dealerships in the world. Yay. A very easy map generally, though you know how I am with easy maps, so... But overall, a pretty big bias, well, obviously towards Scandinavia, towards North America, towards Japan, towards Australia, and towards the Benelux area, so Netherlands, Belgium, maybe Luxembourg. I don't actually know if I've had a round there. With some dealerships sprinkled in there in other countries as well. I think I had one in Hungary, but those are where the biases lie. For the table, last week in Jordan, Pluki as well took a long time to play. He had an extension, so he only played on Friday as well. So I kind of wanted to wait for that before I did the intro. And as you can already see there, I did win my game. Pluki got about 23,000 something, so it was relatively comfortable. I did finish with the third highest score, I think, again. Although when I say again, I mean week 1 was the highest score, but 2 other people, Raidman and Boxer, of course, had the same. And again, Raidman and Boxer with the same there, but right behind them. This week I'm playing against Boxer, so that's great. But yeah, in Volvo dealerships, essentially you want to get a perfect score, or otherwise, well, probably not going to win against Boxer anyway, even with a perfect score, because he's definitely getting one. And yeah, I think that's about it. I didn't practice much because it's just a world map, isn't it? So I played through the other division seeds to create them. And I think I had to throw out one maybe, because it was it? I think it was Gen 1 coverage or something like that. I don't remember. It was something I had to throw one seed out. But so I played like 6 seeds. No, 5 seeds it would have to be. No, 6 seeds. Jeez. The 5 other divisions as well as the one seed I had to throw out. And yeah, have fun with our competitive seed. Okay, let's see what this seed has on offer for us. A Volvo dealership, yep. This is what I was scared of. The US. Brilliant. From first glance, it looks very Western US, potentially California, Arizona. Bulk Air Ambulance Service. Does the fire truck have something? Orange County. Orange County is in California, I'm pretty sure. But where exactly? Greenfield Drive. Avery Parkway. Those aren't really useful signs as usual. Not on that either. But can I potentially... It's the 5. Okay. Is it just gonna be somewhere in LA? Possible. We have north towards Santa Ana and Long Beach 73. Long Beach is here. And Santa Ana is here. Okay. And what exit are we looking at? 85A. That's 97, that's 96. Okay. That's 91. That's 95B. That looks like a pretty good start. Assuming this is just 90. Yep. Okay. There's the Volvo cars, Mission Viejo. It should be that. There's a Hampton Inn and Suits. Yep, absolutely. Okay. There's the entrance. Should be here. Okay. First scary situation out of the way. 1 US down. I'm a bit lucky there in the sense that California we have had in Reddit League before, so I'm a bit more familiar with it. Rather than if we had something in like, I don't know, Maryland, Washington, I don't know, Texas. So it's a decent start, but from practice, might not be the only US location. Let's go. Hey, interesting. Japan. Let's see what we can find. Phone code 76. I know roughly where it is. 22 towards Toyama and the E8. The 76 area code is roughly around Kyoto, I think. Do we have the E8 somewhere here? Maybe, but I don't want to look for it. Seems like a massive waste of time. Coverage, please. I just want a blue sign that tells me a bit more. No, not one of those. There we go. Oyama Airport, Takayama and Hida. 41. Where could that be? Is Toyama big enough for me to just find? That would also be nice. But it doesn't look like it. Okay. 41. The 2-digit numbers are not nice in Japan. Takayama and Hida. Hino. Hmm. 42. Great. As always. There's the 41. Takayama and Hida. Oyoyama. Or is it it's south? Okay. The 55. 56, there's the 55. Toyota is on the left side. Apita, I think so. Up there, didn't I? Yeah. Okay. Oof. Stressful, but successful. Ugh. Yeah, I knew Toyama is a prefecture. I just had the area codes wrong again, as always. That's so ridiculous in Japan that, like, the 70s, mid 70s are somewhere in the center of the country. I always thought, like, it is that way. It starts in the north with, like, the ones and then the twos. But then it's, like, really strange. I think, like, the threes and the fours and the fives are all sort of, like, in this area, in this little small area, because I think, like, Tokyo has their own area codes, and then these islands have their own area codes, and it's all kind of weird. But, okay. Let's go into round 3. Okay. Interesting. Not what I would have wanted. Back in the US? No. Stupid. That's Australia. Which is even worse, I think. Eastboro. Parkside. Glen Osmond Mitcham B28. Just have a look. No B roads in Adelaide. Not really in Melbourne either. Okay, then let me continue. We have... This round could be our downfall, for sure. Arcaba Medical Center. Kent Town. A1. Arcaba Village. A1 is here. But the A1 is also super long. Bring me back to the start. Let me go the other way. R1 City Ring Route. Adelaide. Adelaide Airport. Is it somewhere here? Kind of has to be, I think. The R1. R1 is here. Keswick. Keswick and Arcaba things to look for. We have some road names here. Yeah. Green Hill Road. Don't see either Keswick or Arcaba. Green Hill Road. Looks, that's a relatively straight road. Here? Yeah. Oh my god. Where's Sal? Oh, fuck me. Jesus. Okay. With the context clues of, okay, there's a big park and there's this specific intersection. And I felt like I somehow had Glen Osmond Road in my mind. It stuck out there. But like 5 seconds long and we would have been screwed. I don't know how many points you lose if you're on the wrong side of Adelaide. It might be less than 100, so it might be still draw range, but... Okay. Let's go. Oh, right. Back in the US. 55 South, state capital. Jackson State University. 55 south. Where could that be? 25, 35, 65. There's the 55. Do exit numbers go past state borders? We have the 17 here. And we have state board. Where the hell is the state border for this? Okay, I'm on the wrong side of the border. To look for that. And here we have the 63 shit. Jacksonton, supposedly. Didn't know there was a city called that. Now I do. 96A, so probably on the other side. There's 98. There's 96B and there's 96A, and there's got to be a Volvo dealership over on the western side. Or Moke Automotive. Okay. The Subaru, and there's the Honda. Okay. And there's the Volvo, yeah. So it should just be here. Nice. And one more to deal with. Ooh, please, something easy. Oh no, not more US. This is not what I want. Gilbert something. Gilbert expansion. Gilbert. This is southern US again. But it doesn't look like California this time around. 202. That thing, what does it look like? I don't know, I don't think it looks like a state. It would be confusing me if it did. The blue sign. Right. Yeah, I think this is now genuinely it. I don't think there's any chance of me finding this. Only got half my time over, but what am I supposed to find? That would help me. Let me try the other way, but let me look at that first. No. Okay. This way, I suppose. What could this be? It looks kind of like Arizona, New Mexico to me. There's something called Gilbert. Texas, maybe? No. No. Fuck. Out this way. This is not gonna have anything for me. Is it? Shit. Yep. I knew this might happen. Put me in El Paso, I guess. Or do I want to go further over here? Maybe Tucson. Yeah, actually put me in Tucson, I don't know. Fuck, it was in Chandler, apparently. Yeah, that's gonna be a loss, but yeah, there was no way I was getting that. Ah, there is Gilbert. Didn't zoom in far enough. Alright. Well, that's a shame, but had to come eventually. Ah, okay. Yep. Well, there you go. Let's see you guys in the other seats. Alright. after that disappointment. Although, to be fair, I mean, the seed had 3 locations in the US and 1 in Australia. Considering that, I'm already pretty happy I found 4 of them. But of course, there's going to be no points for that. But let's talk about the other seeds. Let's start with the Red League Next seed, which was very heavily focused on this part of the world. Location 1 was in... Wait, let me just minimize OBS. Location 1 was south of Amsterdam in Meidrecht, probably. Right around here. I think there was a sign for the that you're on the N201 towards, what was it? Towards Utrecht and Haarlem. It was a sign right here. I found the N201 very quickly, and then, well, the Volvo thing here stands out pretty soon. 37 seconds for that. Round 2 was then in France, in Limoges. And that was also not the most difficult, but actually pretty hard. I don't know if you could have gotten onto the highway there. I definitely went, well, northwest, up into the city. And I think I went up until here. And there was a sign that you're in Limoges somewhere here along this route. I don't remember what exactly it was, but up here there was also street names. Now, looking at it, I probably didn't find any of those street names. What I did know was that this up here, I think, yeah, exactly. I found a sign up here as well, apart from the street names, that said, okay, this is the D941. So I knew that, and then I remembered that getting there, I went through this little park thing, which, you know, difficult to really call it a park while you're going through a road through it. But I remembered something green on the way. So I looked here, and, well, this is also pretty standout T-junction there. And then down there is all the car dealerships. And yeah, not too difficult once you figure that out. Round 3 was then up in the Netherlands again, near Tiel. And I pretty quickly managed to narrow down the general area. It might have been just Tiel that I found initially. I walked east and then south, and here there's a couple of signs towards other cities or towns around. And yeah, Tiel was one of them that I found, and like that stands out. You can't really see it well because of the marker here, but it already stands out at this zoom level, so it really wasn't too difficult to find. I feel like it also said, it said some really big cities on those signs as well. It definitely was Nijmegen. And I don't know what the other one was. It might have been Utrecht, might have been Rotterdam. I think it's Rotterdam. So I knew the general area to look for it. And then there's Tiel. And then I knew I very, very much thought we probably started in a village called Kellen, because that was also on the signs mentioned there, but it didn't really have the typical, like, hey, this is a city or a town over there, but it had sort of like this is an industrial zone over there. That's named Kellen. So I wasn't 100% sure it showed up. It actually took me ages to find it. Like, in the end, I didn't even really find Kellen. I found the street itself, because they show up at the same zoom level. So yeah. But the signs obviously gave me distances, so it was like, I don't know, probably like 2 kilometers to Tiel, Midel, and Echteld, so roughly the same everywhere. So I was like, okay, it's gotta be somewhere close here. Then round 4 brought us for our only location that's not in Western Europe, over into Alabama. And yeah, I just couldn't pinpoint that, as you can see right there. I knew we were somewhere close to, well, basically I knew we were between Atlanta and Gainesville. Well, when I say between, I knew we were not in Atlanta, and I knew we were sort of on the highway towards Gainesville. But I couldn't 100% tell if we were exiting a highway to Gainesville, meaning that like we're right next to it, or whether, you know, the highway we're exiting takes us to a road that leads to Gainesville. And in the end, I found nothing else. I knew like this street name, but apart from that, oh, there's actually a town named after the street. The other way around, I know. But I never saw that. Well, it does stand out a bit, though. But to be honest, I think like the point where I knew we were somewhere in that area was already like 30 seconds to go. So I didn't really have the time to go and assume that Buffett might be, or Buford, I don't know, might be a city. Anyway, we then went back over into this area and in Ostend, right around here. Not the most difficult round if you go the right way. It's clearly sort of an industrial, not well, port area generally, something like that. And I went south, and then I think I went down here and then here. And you cross some train tracks, so that already helps quite a bit because, well, there's these train tracks here which don't match up at all, direction-wise, and then there's only this one. So I was looking for this specific side street, and you have to zoom in a bit for that one. All the other ones show up straight away. But yeah, not too difficult. And then there's the Volvo. The Division 5 seat was fairly easy for most of it. It started us off in Maryland, just sort of northwest of Washington in Bethesda. And honestly, I don't remember what I found. I'm pretty sure I found something referencing Maryland, and I knew we were in Bethesda. And well, then it becomes fairly straightforward. I just had to look for Bethesda in Maryland, and there you go. Why is there a Washington, D.C. temple that's not that close to Washington? What? Okay, either way, not the most difficult round. Then round 2 was in northern Italy. There were plenty of signs here, but it honestly took me a long time to find Trezzo sul Adda. There were signs towards Monza, Milan, Bergamo, and like 7 other smaller towns in that area, some of which I found, some of which I didn't find. Adda is the river that runs past here, but that also goes from like you can see the add-on, the suffix, all the way up here and all the way down there, and following this river. So like, yeah, it's somewhere here, but yeah, it took me quite a while. Also, I think I didn't figure out it was Trezzo sul Adda that we were in actually until about like, let's say, the 2-minute mark here. So once I figured out that, I could specifically look for it. Before that, I was just looking for cities that were somewhere close by, trying to figure out if maybe I can like triangulate it. Round 3, and by the way, I'm not really talking about how I managed to pinpoint these locations because, well, there's a Volvo shop at the start, so that's how. Dallas in round 3, and for this one, I'm actually not entirely sure anymore. There must have been something that said Dallas. I don't remember what it was, though. I do distinctly remember a sign at the end pointing me towards the Love Field Airport, which helped massively in pinpointing. And yeah, then just over there near the Volvo shop. But yeah, I don't fully remember what it was that said Dallas. Then round 4, which was the quickest one of this seed, was here in the southwest of England, right around Barnstaple. And I had some signs. We started pretty close to this road, and on this road there were signs for the A39. It was towards Exeter, I'm pretty sure, and towards Bideford that we had signs here. And I found the A39 like over here, so I had to go all the way over there. Also, I think there was one other road. Well, essentially, the first thing I found was Exeter. So I was already a bit like, well, there's no A39 here. And I found that up there, and I was like, what? But then there was also signs towards Bickington and Framington here. So I found those eventually, and that was what made me go, okay, yeah, gotta be here. Next to the Volvo shop. Then the most difficult round of this one, by far for me, not to find a city. It was pretty obviously Barcelona, but to pinpoint it, because there's like, I don't know, there's like 10, 15, maybe 20 cities in the world where I'm like, please don't put me there. I can't find where I am. And you can see there, like, I knew it was Barcelona after like 20 seconds, and then it took me 4 minutes to pinpoint where we are. I knew we were in Via Augusta, but like Barcelona is like not small, and it was in a very like sort of area where there's not a lot here. Like, you see all of the famous the famous points in Barcelona that you might be familiar with. None of them are particularly close here. So I think, what did I find? Yes, I eventually made my way towards Avinguda Diagonal, which was a massive help because that's like the only street that I could easily identify because it's long as hell and it's big. And then I found the right side street, which I don't actually remember. I think it was Carrera de Balmes where I joined this street. So that being one of the bigger ones also helps. But I did go at like this zoom level looking for it. And then from there on, it's not too difficult anymore to find Via Augusta and Carrera de Valmayor. I don't know. All right. The Division 4 seed. Again, a 25k. Not too difficult. Some of them were a bit on the longer side. We started off in Sweden, in Eslöv. I found some signs towards Malmö, and more importantly, around this roundabout, I'm pretty sure I found the road numbers. So basically the 17 and pretty sure the 113 as well, although I'm not 100% confident on that. But yeah, Eslöv isn't too hidden anywhere. It actually stands out sooner than I thought. Round 2, then over in Japan, in sort of a suburb of Osaka. It did take me a bit to find it. I relatively quickly found that we are on like the 2 here, going past this main highway. And I don't remember what I found first, to be honest. I just know the one thing I do know is that it took me a long while to find like a side street. I think, what was I looking for? Was it this one? No, I don't think so. I actually don't remember. But in the end, I found the Volvo dealership. But yeah, this round is a bit of a blank in my mind. What happened there? Then we moved over to France again for Troyes. Is it Troyes or is it Troyes? I think it's Troyes. Right next to the airport. But that one also, you can see it took me 2 minutes 46 until I managed to figure out we're near Troyes. There was like loads of signs right at the start. But that's like my... next to me having like a clear airport blindness, I also have a highway blindness of just... Well, if there's signs on a highway or we're close to a highway and there's others, I can't figure out where we are. It took me 2 minutes and 46 until I eventually managed to do so, just because there was a sign towards Barbary and I found the D91. And I also found like one sign eventually that was like, okay, you're probably near Troyes. Round 4 is then the longest out of this seed in Maryland again. What was this one? Volvo Cars Annapolis. I don't even remember what it was here. It must have just been a highway. Yeah, it was the highway 50. Wait. Yeah, honestly, I don't remember. Oh yeah, 301. That's interesting. Yeah, because I do remember, I think it then came here, so I do remember distinctly finding that, okay, we're somewhere near Highway 50 and 301. And from that point onwards, I must have found something over here. Maybe I found the 179. I don't know. I don't remember. Either way, it took me a long time. And then round 5 is just north of Albany, and there were signs here. I think it might have been just at this intersection. It was like 4 kilometers south to Albany, 4 kilometers north to Schenectady. So I was like, okay. I know like Albany is one of the few towns or cities I know in the US where they are. We're actually talking like low double digits here. Genuinely, like I know like, well, if I look at them, I'm like, yeah, that town exists. But if you just asked me to name American cities, I could probably get to like 20. Unless I then go and think about it a bit more and yes. Either way, very easy to pinpoint. You had that, you had the distances, no problem. The Division 3 seed was another 25k. And I go from high time limit to low time limit. So even though I showed you the red next seed first, that was actually the last one I created. So until that point, until this seed here, I still 5k'd everything and 25k'd all the seeds. we started off in Bangkok, sort of like in the southwest here, and I found both that we were on Ramatu Road and that the road was number 35. If I zoom into the right zoom, there we go. So then looking at Bangkok, I mean, I didn't know we were in Bangkok for sure, but like I just assumed that the 35 was right there. That was where I started looking for the 35, basically. And then it took me quite a while to pinpoint because you have to zoom in quite far for the Volvo to show up. And with that curve there to the west, it was pretty obvious that we were somewhere here. But there we've got a Subaru, there's a Toyota, and I just was one zoom level too far out, essentially. But I also then, like, think for the first, 2 minutes and, 10, I'm going to say, I was just going west, and eventually I went east, and I was like, oh, there's water here. That made it a bit more easy. Then round 2 was up there in the US again, in Connecticut this time, and apparently Westport. And I don't know, for some reason, these all looked bigger than they actually are. Like, they're small towns, but being in them felt like they were pretty big. And eventually I knew we were on the US Highway 1. So what I did essentially is I started up in Maine and went down the US Highway 1 until I eventually found Westport. That's it. That's why it took me 3 minutes 35, but I did find it. Then round 3, right, straight back in the US, down there in Miami, in the suburb of Weston. And I think, I found a sign for or towards Miami. I don't remember in the end. And then I must have, I'm pretty sure I found the sign for US State Highway 818. And that's why I knew, okay, somewhere here, and then there's Weston straight away. And there's the Volvo car dealership. And then round 4 had us in Lithuania, in Kaunas. And that one actually took me embarrassingly long. Because I just had to spend a lot of time pinpointing because there actually isn't a Volvo dealership on the map. And even the point is a bit off the main highway, the main road there. But you've got plenty to still manage to pinpoint. Well, we've got 180 meters or something of space, so you can easily manage to pinpoint that and get a 5K because distance doesn't matter too much anymore. I thought, well, who cares? That's fine. So that's right there, and I, of course, went to this big highway intersection, but it took me a while. It definitely took me a while. And then round 5 was down there in Perpignan. Figured out that it was Perpignan. There were signs like down here, I think, very quickly. It might have even been up here. I don't remember. I definitely went both ways at one point. And then about 1.5 minutes of those 2 minutes 22 were spent somehow trying to find where we are in Perpignan. I think I might have worked with road numbers, but I'm not sure anymore. Might have also just been lucky and found, okay, this looks like a bit of I want to call it, I don't know, industrial shopping area. And then eventually found, okay, there's a car dealerships, and for some reason all the car dealerships are always right next to each other. Why? Why are they right next to each other? Like, that makes no sense to me. Like, wouldn't you want to say, like, hey, okay, there's like 17 other car companies, car dealerships down here. Maybe you want to go to the north? Maybe be closer? No, put it right there in the middle of the others. I don't know. Maybe they all belong to the same company and it's just like different car marks. Then we have the first seed where I actually dropped points. In 2 rounds even. And surprisingly, in a seed with 2 US rounds, neither of them were in the US, where I dropped points. The first round was in Sweden, in Östersund. And genuinely, I just could not find the car dealerships. Like, for some reason, none of it made sense to me. Like, I think there was as well, like, a street name that didn't match what it says on here. And eventually, I got sort of close, just going by the fact that this is like the only road that makes some sense. It still didn't look right to me, but none of the others even remotely made sense. But still, until like right around where the time ran out, I was like still considering like not even being in Östersund. But in the end, like lost 1 point. Then we were in the US again, right around Miami, but this time south of Miami, in South Miami. And I think this was also an interesting one because the coverage where you start, at the starting point, you can't actually see a Volvo dealership because it's Toys R Us or something. Let me actually get into it. Yeah, it's a Toys R Us. Coverage from December 2018. And then if you move away a bit, wait, let me move somewhere else. Here. That's the coverage from December 2020. So now it's a Volvo. So you can't spot it straight away, and on Google Maps, it's just like, you don't know what this is. Figure it out yourself. But I made my way to the highway and then made my way south until which intersection? 80. Wait, or did I go north? No. Where did I? Oh, just until here. I thought I traveled further. No, I just made my way until here. And there was the Southwest 84th Street. I must have figured out very quickly we're in Miami. I don't remember how I did that, but yeah, I must have seen that straight away because I don't remember going further than this. And then obviously Miami is, like, the streets are sort of well ordered, so you can tell fairly easily. Round 3, next points dropped in Belfast because, like, I think it says on the car dealership that you're in Belfast. Yeah, it says Agnew Belfast on it. So I knew, like, from second one we were in Belfast, but I just could not for the life of me figure out where. Eventually I found that I got to a point where it was like, okay, I see west of me, like very close, I see mountains. And I was like, okay, it has to be this. It could have also been this, but I was pretty sure it was this. And I still placed myself up there because I feel like I traveled south a bit to see those. And yeah, I had no, like, this looks much further away than the mountains looked. Like, it looked like the mountains were right there, like maybe one or two side streets, and then you're at the mountain. But apparently it was like a kilometer. I traveled down here onto this road, but it was too late at that point. And yeah, the A55 essentially goes from all the way up here, all the way down there, and all the way around. So also not the most helpful, considering I already knew I was sort of in this area anyway. Then round 4 brought us back into the US, right into Salt Lake City, and well, it had the Utah Highway symbol, I think, there somewhere, and it also had the street names, and I think a major interstate was right there, and it was just, well, that's the kind of round I like in the US, being pretty easy. And then round 5 was in Lahti, also not too difficult. Don't quite remember how I figured out it was Lahti. I think I found a sign that was like, yeah, I remember now. There was a sign that was you're on the, or at least close to the 4, which in Finland is the E75. You need to zoom in very far, but yeah, that's the same road. You can kind of check that by going to Helsinki and then looking, like, there's the 1. That's the 2. I think, is that the 2? No, that's the 2. That's the 3, and that's the 4. And sort of like in clockwise, it goes around. And there was also a sign for the 167. So I knew we were in Lahti. And then it took me a bit to find that, but it wasn't too bad in the end. And yeah, that's it. Those were the other seeds. 22 out of 25 5Ks, and for a 5 in my own seed, but yeah, what can you do? First loss gotta come eventually. All right. Hope you enjoyed watching this week's Reddit League. Thanks for doing so, and I'll see you guys again next time. Bye.